Sets up a gank on Peke here. Svenskeren completely missing, but look at the burst of damage. Oh, the spear! He manages to use the Spirit Rush. He's going to lounge straight back in there. He can get back on towards Peke. Not going to land this time. Oh, he does! The red buff, I think it was, that was ticking there, got Peke down. He lost his life for it though, but it was worth it.
Yeah, he managed to shoot the very last auto attack when Peke was trying to escape away, which killed him. Yes, okay, Svenskeren went down, but a good move from him. And Jessis means, this means for Jessis he can just push his mid lane now and try and get at least down to 50%.
Yellow Star actually, ooh, the hook not going to land because he uses that Black Shield. Candy Panda caught out, and he's going to take that quick lantern to get away. So, Peke, use that DFG on towards Svenskeren, but you just saw the power of Elise. If you walk into one of those bushes blindly, you can do a hell of a lot of damage.
And he's gone for this early Magic Pin build as well, so he will have a lot of single target damage. Whoever he catches out, it's a scary combo for SK. If they land a Cocoon, followed by a Spear from Nelly, and then the burst from Svenskeren, you can pretty much kill anyone. And Jessis, simply also due to Peke dying, could now take this mid turret. And then we also have to look at Yellow Star. He has double buff now in this bot lane. Let's see if he can set something up.
That was some good, quick work from Jessis to take that tower down in the middle because it was barely touched. Blue buff now gone across towards him. Peke does not have that blue buff, remember, because he just lost it out and he was just actually trying to take a look across there. There is a pink ward from SK came in. That dragon is back up. And SK trying to make a move for it, but Fnatic are ready. We already see Freddy. He's heading down the river.
And Peke is actually doing a smart thing, joining the team down here from the south, trying to go up towards the dragon so they stay together. If a fight should break out, they don't come in from different sides, which can be risky. And we do actually not have a teleport on Source, so he won't be able to join in.
Spear lands on Yellow Star. Dark Binding counters that from Jessis. The charm on N-rated. Will they follow through? They get a good bit of damage on towards it. Freddy is still waiting. He's in that death bush. The dragon down to half health. Dark Binding still not landing. Fnatic are giving up on this one. Cyanide thought he could get a cheeky smite, but SK take it.
Wisely enough from Fnatic, they don't go in for the fight simply because Source doesn't have to teleport, so he can join in. And also they actually get some good damage, might even the turret here.
They may well get it, but at what cost? Reckless does not get caught out. Thought that might well flash through, but that's 2 towers for a dragon. That's a good trade for Fnatic.
Yeah, Source, he stayed up top, he got the turret down, so very nice move from Fnatic, getting down all the outer turrets from SK very early on. And it's very, very good when you have Evelyn, because it means you can go into the next side of SK's jungle and you can actually find these pink wards they've placed, clear them out, and make it even harder for them to spot out Sanad if he's moving around. So
Peke taking away the Wraiths while Jessis keeps that mid lane pushed out. Svenskeren takes his own Wraiths away, and that's keeping the farm actually very even, which is a great job for Jessis, honestly, keeping up with Peke on Ahri.
We've seen this with Nidalee. We actually saw with Peke yesterday against LeBlanc. He fell behind early on, but once he got level 6, once he got a few levels, he could actually start farming, and you have some good wave play even in your cat form, so it simply meant that he could start catching up, and now Nidalee will really start shining.
Just trying to bide his time. Freddy going on towards Soaz there. Cyanide close by, Svenskeren close by. Everybody from SK pushing on towards his top turret. They take it without no problem.
And both teams are just so good at the rotation around, so whenever there's a chance of a turret, they just grab it instantly, and that's why we have so many turrets down already. And a fight onto Freddy.
Yeah, they're going to go for Freddy this time around, and quickly we see Svenskeren and Jessis turn back around, but Freddy's in trouble. Dominus is running, but is it going to be enough? Oh, the Cocoon lands. Cyanide gets caught out. Freddy survives. Svenskeren gets the kill. Great turnaround for SK.
Very nice counter game from SK. They didn't recall yet, they just started to back off, and that was charm on Svenskeren.
Big burst damage on Svenskeren, but not enough from Peke. And that means that SK Gaming keep themselves that advantage. Bottom lane, you can see tower being pushed here by Candy Panda. We do see Yellow Star coming down. Dark Binding does land on Candy Panda despite using that dash to try and get away. But Candy still got himself some free farm, and look in the jungle, you can see it is going to be N-rated and Jessis both moving their way down here. They want to bait out Yellow Star, they want to push towards him. There comes N-rated. The Flay does not land because the Dark Binding was down there. He's not trying the Black Shield, it's not going to be enough. And N-rated actually getting stunned out here, but SK continuing to push.
And SK Gaming, they saw Reckless in the mid lane, that's why Candy Panda, he stayed despite Yellow Star actually coming down there, and he just pushed down the turret. The rest of them came for the gank, but Black Shield onto Morgana makes it very hard for Fresh to actually set something up.
He's fighting for the golems there. United using that lantern to pull Candy Panda away and saying, come on, you've had enough farm, let's go buy something, which is what he's done. He's got himself that Bloodthirster. The Trinity Force is well underway as well. Meanwhile, Reckless, while he's going towards that static shiv possibly, we'll see whether it works into. Freddy gets himself the red buff in that top lane along with that Warden's Mail with that Ravenous Hydra he's been building up. Meanwhile, Blade of the Rune King for Soaz, along with that chain vest he bought right at the start.
I actually like the fact SK gives the red buff to Renekton. It gives him the chance to 1v1 Source for even longer. So they want to make sure that he can stay in this lane, he can still dominate and farm against Source, who has teleport. So if we get to the point where Source will beat out Renekton, that's the issue for SK, where they need to do something else on the map. So they're wisely enough giving red buff over, and the Brutalizer will give some good early damage as well for Freddy.
And that's actually a giant part of SK's strategy generally. Freddy holding his own in that top lane. We have seen Svenskeren going up there a bunch of times, helping out with those ganks, but he is keeping it up very well with Soaz and keeping in control. You can see in terms of farm, he's got a 30 CS difference. He's got them 2 assists. It's working wonders for him at the moment.
And there was the whole tactic, as you just said, because they knew Sana would put focus onto Freddy. So that's why Svenskeren was there, ready to always counter gank and make sure Freddy would stay ahead, so he can delay Source being strong 1v1 for as long as possible.
And look at the gold difference between Svenskeren and Cyanide. It's a nearly 2,000 gold differential between those junglers, because Svenskeren has been there to counter every move the Cyanide makes and get the kill on top of it.
And he got the kill here. He did give up the first spot, but that's been the only bad move for him. Everything else have worked out for him pretty well. And it's actually funny to see how both teams have killed all the auto turrets for each other so early on in the game. It really shows we've had a lot of action and also a lot of shifting in the lanes.
Well, the mid lane is the focus at the moment. They're trying to look on towards Reckless. Reckless not going to get fooled by that one. Candy Panda being pursued by Peke. He's got to be careful. That's going to be a very close trade between the two. The fact he's got that DFG should be able to burst him down, but SK are pushing on towards his middle turret.
And they're doing what they can do with this combo, despite Nidalee actually not being there. When she joins in with the team, starts landing these spears, the siege combo from SK will force Fnatic to actually hard engage. And the only hard engage they have here is either Sana coming from behind or the side, or Pega landing a charm or bind from Yellow Star.
Slow reactions from Fnatic. They're not too sure whether they are needed. This time the charm does land on Svenskeren. Peke puts some good damage down, but wow, that Spiderling doing a heck of a lot. Now then Rated, he's going to get dived on here, but Yellow Star, the ultimate runs off there. There is one kill and Rated goes down. They can turn this one, but SK Gaming are not done yet. They're going to try and keep this siege running.
Well, we saw both the charm landing first for Pega onto Svenskeren, and then we saw the binding from Yellow Star onto Unrated, so they picked up the kill they want, they got the fight they want, and now they're going on to Source.
The cocoon on Soaz not really the target they wanted. Svenskeren taking a few unnecessary shots from that tower. SK Gaming are trying to last this siege out. Fnatic, well, they're trying to do a relay race back to that fountain. Cyanide getting caught out, getting stunned out by Freddy, while the rest of the team continued to beat it down. They really wanted that inner turret, but the teleport from Soaz coming into the top lane. Fnatic are going to chase on this one. Soaz continues to chase on there. He's got that pillar of ice, if he can land it. Goes on towards Svenskeren and bounces him back away though. Fnatic may try and take advantage of this one and push the mid lane, which is why SK Gaming, they're just turning this one back around.
And we actually saw how hard it was for Source to find a target to use his pillar and ice off, because you have to dash on Renekton, obviously you have to dash onto Lucian, and also Nidalee can jump over it in Cougar form. So very hard for him to pick a target. Wisely enough, he actually saved it for Svenskeren, but the rest of Fnatic weren't in a position to catch up.
Right, Soaz keeping his eye on Freddy. They know that Freddy's not there. It is actually the Dragon, so they know this is a 4v5 opportunity. Fnatic may well try and challenge this one.
Sana is far away though, he's all the way down in the base, so there's no smite, and they're not even able to go in here and actually contest this one.
Fast Dragon, but now they're going to have to run and try and defend Fnatic. You can see Soaz, he wants to use that pillar to try and head off the entire team. Uses the ward to keep their vision. The rest of Fnatic pushing up, trying to get this inner turret. Freddy is making his way around there. SK kind of caught out of position here, and Rated's going to be the one to take the front brunt of this damage, but they're going to come around the side. The culling comes on there. Peke's forced back away. Soaz is caught up. Freddy's chasing on towards him. It's a deep, deep hook from N-Rated. He goes very deep. Cyanide pays the price. He gets caught out there. Fantastic play from the support, and now Soaz, he's in trouble. Flashes away. The Ignite was running. Freddy gets another slice and slices through Soaz. It's 2 kills for SK Gaming. What a counter.
And that hook followed up by the box from N-Rated. He got into the middle of the entire Fnatic team because Pega actually dashed away. And now SK going towards this Baron. 5 members alive, only 3 members from Fnatic, and Pega is all the way down in the base.
This is actually doable. SK Gaming making some big, big plays here. There was a counter to the counter to the counter to the counter. It's gone from middle tower to Dragon to middle tower of SK Gaming, and now to the Baron. And it's SK Gaming that will take this one. Fnatic not even near it.
So Fnatic decides not to try and fight for it. Reckless is out of mana, and at the same time, Yellow Star all the way down to 50% HP, so they didn't feel like they could do anything. And SK Gaming picks up a very early Baron actually, and very nice move from them, and now they can really use this Nidalee to just go down 5 members, start firing away the spears, and if they land one, they can go towards the turret.
And with that Zhonya's hourglass completed, if Peke does choose to focus him, he will be very quick hitting that golden Nidalee. Soaz himself, well, he's having a rough time in this top lane. He's been trying to focus with Freddy alongside Cyanide, but Svenskeren really has stopped them every step of the way. It's something that we're getting quite used to saying for SK Gaming these days.
But Fnatic did actually do the right thing here early game, because they put the focus onto the only lane they would actually lose by itself. That was the Trundle up top, so they did the right thing there. At the same time, Peke, he won the mid lane. We saw the bot lane taking the turret as well after the dragon. So overall, we can't say Fnatic haven't done a good job, but the combo from SK, at least in the last team fight we saw, with Renekton and obviously with the great hook from Enrated followed by the box, was simply such strong play from SK, and Fnatic, they couldn't do anything to it.
Well, Randy and Zerman is now being completed by Freddy. Meanwhile, Soaz has still not got that Sunfire cape complete, so he really can't get close to Freddy. Meanwhile, we see SK Gaming, they have 4 members running down that mid lane. Sorry, 3 members. Enrate is lagging a little bit behind. He's trying to catch up. They want that inner turret. They may well get it, but Freddy's in trouble in the top lane. He's going to have to use that dominance. He tries to focus on Peke. He's going to go down. He's just simply buying time for the rest of his team now. And SK Gaming, they know they've got some free time. They can push on this in.
They might even be able to go into the next turret, because Peke and Source are recalling now. There will be some time before here, and they will get it.
You're going to get the tower down. Can they get the inhibitor? I think they might do. There's a lot of damage going to go on towards it, that's for sure. Peke comes in there. Oh, good dodge from Svenskeren. Lantern gets thrown down. They're not going to take the Lantern. Now he steps towards it. Cyanide in trouble. He might get caught out. The Ignite's running. I'm not too sure it's going to be enough. It will be, and Rated gets the kill. Wow, what a turn and burn for SK Gaming, and that's the problem when you leave yourself so exposed up a Baron team.
Yeah, Fnatic invested 2 members on to try and kill Freddy, and yes, he did go down, but it just meant the rest of SK pushed all the way down, got both the inhibitor and also a kill onto Cyanide, so very nice trade for SK.
So bottom lane is now the focus for SK Gaming, and 4 members come down here. Freddy's a long way off, of course, but they may well get on towards this inner turret. Spear comes in, lands on Peke. That's Fnatic having to back away. Another inner turret. This is 3 turrets already for SK Gaming with his Baron buff.
And that's just the pain of playing against Nidalee. Either you hard engage instantly so you don't get hit by these spears, or you get hit, you go back to base, you buy your home guards, and then you try and come back and join in for the fight.
So much damage coming out of SK Gaming. The call in on Yellowstar, he goes down, and now SK Gaming, oh, Jess is going to get caught out, but Peke gets popped straight away, and it's a double kill for Candy Panda. Now they're turning on towards it. Svenskeren running in towards Cyanide. Freddy gets on towards him. Cyanide's going to go down. SK Gaming are just ruining Fnatic's day. They could finish the game right here.
They can finish it, and Jessis, he managed to pop his Sonya's before he actually died, when the charm was gone, and SK, they're just pushing on.
What a turnaround. All that counterplay action in the mid lane has led to SK Gaming finishing the game in quick style. It's a 27-minute game, ladies and gentlemen. El Clasico, I'm not sure. SK Gaming just wrecked Fnatic.
And that's how you use a Baron buff. They picked it up, they actually had it even when they ended the game. Such a strong performance by SK, just turning it on when it really mattered.
Fantastic play, and wow. We talked about the Nidalee pick for Jesus, and actually while it didn't have a great impact, it did enough, and it was those pokes, those spears, that just kept the flow going. When they attacked those inhibitors, someone caught the spear every time. First it was Cyanide, then it was Yellowstar, then it was Peke, and they just kept falling, spear after spear, and well, Candy Panda, he just ate them up.
Candy Panda was there to finish him up when they got low, and also we have to highlight, of course, Freddy and Svenskeren. The entire early game was fights up in the top lane, went in favor of SK due to the counter ganks. It simply also meant that Freddy was so strong. We actually saw him in the team fight in mid, caught up to Source, 1v1'd him, just killed him, no chance for Source to do anything, and then they went on to Baron afterwards.
What an incredible turnaround this season has been for SK Gaming, because they started out the season, you know, they were 2-0 down in the promotion series. They pulled that round, they got themselves 3-2, and we were like, well, it was a great turnaround, but they're going to really have a rough season. But they have really stepped it up. I'd say the last month now, they are such a strong team. And you were talking to Candy Panda earlier on today, and you know he said it. He hit the nail on himself. There's no egos in that team. If someone's having a problem on a champion, they will say so, and they will help themselves out, or they will change that champion.
And that's simply the main thing. If you can solve your issues, if you can actually point them out, if you have someone, maybe a coach or a manager, helping doing these things, pointing out the issues, and then you fix them, you become this very, very strong team so fast, because we knew they were good players. We also knew they had some inexperienced players, and Jessis, for instance, and as soon as he got a few games under his belt, he started learning a few different champions actually. We saw a lot of set for him in the relegation. Only played it once, didn't go too well for him. Been sticking now to these very long-range champions, and it's working for SK, and the whole tactic is working for him.
And it was such a big challenge for SK, the brand itself, because changing 4 players coming into the LCS from the summer split to the spring split of 2014, it really has been a big turnaround. There's Alex on your screen. He is the owner of SK Gaming, and he's been helping them. And you can see he's doing everything for them. He's packing up for Svenskeren, and he's making sure he's well looked after. That jungler is doing a fantastic job for him.
He's just shining, and that's Svenskeren from the very first split we saw in the LCS, where he was so good together with Bjergsen in the mid lane. As long as he had the practice going for him, every single thing would work for him. And that's him as a jungler. And we see here the early game aggression he's having together with someone like Freddy, or the bot lane where he's always going down early on. It works for him, and as a team, again, for SK, the whole playstyle, the whole tactic, it's very hard to deal with, because once you fall behind to this, they're so good at just closing out the game.
And what do we take from Fnatic? They're now 2-2 in the Super Week. They have picked up wins nonetheless. They broke their duck. They managed to get themselves out of that big bad experience, but still not a great Super Week, 2-2.
No, not the best, but then again, the games they have had, except for this one, have actually been good games. We got to give them that credit.
Yeah.
Sana has been looking good. Peke, a bit up and down, but not been looking bad. I mean, he had the 0-6-0 Syndra game. Obviously, we're not down here. He's been playing fairly well. Obviously, Soa's been trying out a lot of Trundle likes. He's falling back to Trundle, which he started in week 1. So I like the picks for Fnatic, and also like the rotation they had. They got down to 3 auto turrets very fast from SK, but then due to the one crucial team fight in the mid lane, they just lost everything, and after the Baron was gone, there was nothing they could do against something like an Italy, and also a very strong Renekton.
We'll see how it develops for Fnatic. Of course, next up for them is the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, so we'll see how that works out for them. We're going to take a momentary break, but stay tuned to catch Shocks and Quickshot breaking down that action with Jezzes from SK Gaming. Then it is time for the Super Hot Crew to take on the Copenhagen Wolves in the final game of Super Week. We'll be right back.
I will go Trundle. I will go.
Oh.
Can you catch Trundle here?
I want to
Look, look.
I'm coming to help. I'm helping
Listen,
Jonas.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
We can push down.
I
Push
will
down.
kill Trundle. I
Good
will kill
Trundle.
Trundle.
Nice, Invader.
Welcome back. Quickshot and I are happy to be joined by Jessis from SK Gaming. I'm still a little surprised. That was a very, very impressive win from you guys, but you guys were very calm talking to each other. Did you know you had it in the bag?
Thing is, we had everything prepared going into the match in the Champions League, and everything went as planned. It even went easier than planned. So we were pretty confident going into the game, and after everyone doing fine on lane, we were pretty calm and just took it step by step.
So talk to me about that particular clip that we just seen, because Ro8 took a death sentence halfway across the map. He didn't even flinch,
Yeah.
and the only call I heard was go Trundle.
Yeah.
Is the communication always that calm and succinct for your team?
I wouldn't say it's that calm. I mean, I wasn't there. Like I was standing like to the bush at around Wraiths, because Freddy was chasing the Trundle, and I was like thinking, is Enrita gonna hit the hook? If not, I'm gonna chase after Trundle. So I was like not really talking. I was just looking around, and then he hit the hook, so I had to turn around and run to the fight. So
I tell you what, we've actually got a replay that I want you to talk me through a little bit more specifically. Let's pull this one up on your screen right now. It's the exact same clip. We're going to start it a couple seconds before that little sounds of the game. So this is where you were talking about. Let's start the clip out and talk me through what's happening.
okay, so pretty much they're just going all in mid for tower, but they can't really do anything because they used everything. So we just go all in, and they can't really do much about it. But yeah, he hits the death sentence and just all ins and hit everyone.
How can you not be impressed by that death sentence? It was phenomenal.
I don't know. He always does this stuff, so.
So the calling was clear. You guys had a pretty good lead. You generated a lot of gold. Why was it so apparently easy for your team?
I don't know. I think we have a lot of confidence, and we scrimmed against Fnatic, and we just beat them a lot of times, and it felt really calm going against Fnatic.
Yeah, scrimming and winning is one thing, but standing here in Super Week and going up against them is something else. Tell me about the experience in the mid lane. Peke was on Ahri versus your Nidalee.
I played the matchup a long time ago, but I was confident going up against it. I know Peke's Ahri, he's okay on lane, but his charm's not that dangerous, so I didn't really have anything to care about as Nidalee against Ahri, so I just knew exactly what I was going up against, and I just farmed my way through. And then after the lane phase, like the thing is, he's gonna pressure me on the tower all the time, but for him to do that, he has to use a lot of mana, and if he does that all the time, he's gonna have to recall, and when he recalls, I'll have his tower, which I did.
Well, it worked out very well for you. I want to ask, what was your mindset yesterday? You'd lost a game, you'd won a game, and you played Zed for the first time in the LCS. How was the mood sitting 1-1 on Super Week and the team camp?
The mood was obviously down because we lost. We haven't lost in Champion Select in a while. So it was kind of a surprise. Like we were, okay guys, we have to focus. We have to really beware. We have to prepare like we've done the earlier weeks. So it was pretty much just over, or obviously because we made mistakes as well. But definitely the Champions Select threw us behind like so hard.
Let's turn the attention on you personally then within that team, because you've gone quite a way since the beginning of the season and really grown. How happy are you with your performance at the moment?
I think I'm doing fine. I mean, I'm playing well in coming to the way the meta is right now. I feel I'm playing the meta really well. So
I've got quite a tough question for you now. We see SK when they're playing the map. As a team, you guys do very well. You know, you control objectives, you challenge for dragons. Yesterday, when we did see you on Z, it was going away from the traditional SK formula, where you're a little bit more pick-based. It didn't work out. Is that a weakness of your team, that you can only play like the split pushing in the map game?
I think we're just a team that is very quick at adapting to the metas. And the way it seems for us right now is that they're the only ways for a team to succeed. Like, we've had success with the ways we've played, and yeah.
If it works, don't change it.
Don't change it, indeed. Now we have another match coming up, of course, as the Copenhagen Wolves take on the Super Hot Crew. Maybe Trevor, you first. Who's going to take it?
The way Super Hot Crew have been playing this week, I feel like Copenhagen Wolves have got the edge. I think they've just got a slightly higher level, and Super Hot Crew seem to be doubting every move they make. So, going on the Wolves.
Jesses, what do you think?
Seeing them just lose against Millennium, the way that they banned out moves, I think Copenhagen Wolves will take something from that as well, which will give them the edge. And Copenhagen Wolves is a strong team, so.
All right, well, thank you very much. Congratulations on your Super Week performance, of course. And now we're going to head back over to the desk for the next match.
Thank you very much, Shocks and Quick Shot. So, up next, it is the Super Hot Crew facing off against the Copenhagen Wolves. And the head-to-head between these teams is currently stacked in the Super Hot Crew's favor. They are 2-0 up, picking up wins in Week 3 and Week 5. However, it's been a very rough week for the Super Week for the Super Hot Crew. They are 0-3 so far, losing out to Alliance and Fnatic yesterday in games they barely even got started in. And then, well, today's games, just 2 matches ago, we saw them floundering against Millennium. They just had no answer to Kerp and Kevin in the team fights.
And it honestly seems like Super Hot Crew had just lost their confidence. In the past weeks, we always saw them play very aggressive and they were fighting for dragons. But in this Super Week, they haven't made any plays at all. The lanes are being very passive. Impaler is not having the impact he used to do. And it simply means that they fall behind early and then they try to farm their way back in, but it's just not working for them. And against Fnatic, we had both Jax and Karthus as new picks for Mima and Moobs. And Mima, he managed to actually do a very good job on Jax, but Moobs on Karthus, it didn't work at all for him. And picking Karthus into LeBlanc, it's a very risky lane. And you just know that when you get into the team fights, you more or less will die instantly, so it's important you die in the middle of the enemy team, and he didn't manage to do it, and he never really got any AP either. And the last match was a very slow game for them against Millennium. They never got started, and Impaler, he went on to Car 6 early on, didn't really get the things he needed early. He had a lot of ganks up in top lane, but there was counter ganks from around here. And then the rest of Super Hot Crew, once they got to team fights, they couldn't deal with Kevin on Olaf, and of course Kirby was just being fantastic on 6.
And in total contrast, the Copenhagen Wolves, well, they came into Super Week with a great record and stretched it to a 5-game win streak, beating out Fnatic on day 1. But yesterday, it went badly for them. They lost out to Alliance and Gambit.
And Copenhagen Wolves, they lost the early game against a poke combo. And when you're trying to fight your way back against something like Nidalee and Caitlyn, it's very, very hard. And Copenhagen Wolves, they weren't able to pull it off. Their picks were actually all comfort champions, but with Forgiven being shot down very early on in the lane by good ganks and also by the bot lane from Alliance, they didn't have any answer. And against Gambit, the Wolves decided to leave Kassadin up for Alex. And they tried to counter it then with lane swapping to the mid lane at level 1. And again, the combo for Copenhagen Wolves were actually perfect for it, because they had Gragas to go bot lane in a 1v2 scenario, and then they had Forgiven and Unlimited trying to deny CS from Kassadin in the mid lane. And again, the idea was good, but they just didn't manage to pull it off, and Alex, he actually outfarmed Kautot in most parts of the game. However though, there is no reason for me at least to say that Copenhagen Wolves should panic yet, because they have lost 2 games to a very strong Gambit team with Kassadin, and also an Alliance team playing really, really well. So I think they need to keep the head up, and going into this game, if they can manage to win it, they will come back on track.
Yeah, it has been a fantastic week for Alliance, which is, of course, who rolled over them. Let's check out those starting lineups. On the blue side, it is the Super Hot Crew. That means it's going to be Mima in the top lane, Impaler in the jungle, Moops in the mid lane, Mr. Rals as AD carry, and Mixer on support.
And for the Copenhagen Wolves, we have Youngbug in the top lane, we have Amazing in the jungle, Kautot is the mid laner, Forgiven on AD carry, and of course Unlimited is his support.
So we're going to be moving into picks and bans. What do we expect to see here? We've seen a number of bans focused Like at the start of the season, everyone was focusing on Impaler. Nowadays, everyone focuses on Forgiven for the Copenhagen Wolves. We've also seen a bunch of mid lane champions maybe aim towards Moops. What's going to make these teams uncomfortable?
Well, one thing we can say for sure is actually that Super Hot Crew will ban out the Casterling because they don't play it. Copenhagen Wolves do, so they will actually have to ban. I mean, we have 3 bans for Copenhagen Wolves. A lot of different things. Pantheon, for instance, could be a ban against Impaler. He used to be very strong on it. Been playing different junglers now.